Hey there, Deepwoken adventurers! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most important decisions you'll make when starting your journey in Deepwoken, choosing your race. Each race in the game comes with its own unique perks, passive abilities, and stat boosts. But let's be real, not all races are created equal. Some are absolute game changers, while others, well, let's just say they might need a little love from the devs. In this video, I'll be breaking down the best races in Deepwoken, based on how flexible they are for both PvP and PvE. Whether you're the type of player who loves clutching epic fights, or someone who thrives in grinding those tough mobs, we've got you covered. So, grab a snack, sit back, and let's figure out which race will help you dominate the seas and become a Deepwoken legend. I'm quickly moving on to the video, and I'm ranking races in Deepwoken. Before we start, if you enjoy these types of list videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Enjoy watching. The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Seltor, Chrysid, and Canner. Oh boy, let's talk about the races in Deepwoken that are like that one friend who's always there but never really steals the show. Yep, we're diving into the C-tier races, Seltor, Chrysid, and Canner. These aren't bad by any means, but they're not exactly setting the world on fire either. Think of them as the side characters in your favorite anime. They have their moments, but you're not exactly rolling credits on their arc. First up, Seltor. If you're the type who loves sailing the high seas and saving your hard-earned notes, Seltor's got you covered. Their buffs for sea vessels and discounts can be a lifesaver when you're trying to scrape together enough cash for upgrades or repairs. But let's be real, how often are you relying on this? It's nice to have, sure, but it's more like a thanks mom for the gas money vibe rather than a full-blown game changer. Next, we've got Chrysid. Their ability to reveal enemies that attack them might sound cool on paper, but it's like bringing a water gun to a sword fight. This perk shines in those ultra-specific PvP moments where someone's sniping you from the shadows, and you're all, aha, gotcha. But let's face it, those situations are rare. Most of the time, it's like carrying around a flashlight during a sunny day. Useful? Maybe. Necessary? Not really. And then there's Canner. Their whole deal is about dealing and taking less damage to and from allies. Sounds great if you're constantly brawling with your friends by your side. But in Deepwoken, how often does that happen? It's like bringing a friendship bracelet to a solo survival show. Sweet, but kind of pointless. Unless your squad is glued to your hip 24/7, this ability just doesn't hit as hard as it could. So, there you have it. Seltor, Chrysid, and Canner, the solid but unspectacular C-tier trio. They've got their quirks, and in the right hands, they can shine a little. But let's be real, they're the fine I'll-make-it-work picks of the race lineup. The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Ganymede, Gremmer, and Etrian. Alright, buckle up adventurers, because we're diving into the Deepwoken B-tier races, those underdogs of the Void Sea that sit somewhere between meh and hey, not bad. If you're thinking of rolling one of these, you're in for a mix of potential, quirks, and maybe just a sprinkle of frustration if you don't know what you're doing. Let's break it down. First up, we've got Ganymede, the masters of making deep shrines your personal playground. These guys thrive when used by someone who knows how to work the system early on. Their shrine discount isn't just a coupon, it's a whole strategy waiting to be unlocked. But here's the catch. You've got to know what you're doing. If you're a rookie, you might miss their full potential, but for veterans, chef's kiss. Ganymede can climb up tiers faster than a depth shark chasing a fresh spawn. Next, the Gremmer. Okay, hear me out. These furry map whisperers are basically your built-in GPS. The compass ability is a lifesaver for newbies who get lost faster than they can say Erisia. Plus, their reduced hunger loss and bonus when blinded, that's some handy versatility. They're not flashy, but they're solid. A good choice if you want a race that keeps things steady without demanding too much from you. And finally, we've got Etrian, the unsung middle child of Deepwoken. Look, they're not gonna wow you with over-the-top abilities, but they get the job done. Their resistance to negative status effects is surprisingly clutch in the right situations, and that acid rain defense, it's a lifesaver if you're one of those people who always seems to end up outside during the worst possible weather. Are they exciting? Not really. But practical? Absolutely. So, there you have it. Ganymede, Grimoire, and Etrian holding down the fort in B tier. These races are like that one friend who doesn't party hard, but always shows up when you need them. They're not the flashiest choices, but in the right hands, they can still pack a punch. Got a favorite B tier pick? Let me know in the comments, and maybe we'll bump one up to A tier glory together. The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Khan, Felinor, Capra, and Tyran. Picture this, you're diving headfirst into Deepwoken, ready to conquer the depths, and suddenly you roll a race that's almost perfect, just shy of being overpowered. That's what we're talking about here, the A-tier races. These are the ones that bring fantastic benefits to the table, just needing a sprinkle more power or skill to climb into S-tier. Let's break them down, and trust me, you're going to want to pay attention. First up, Khan. Now, this race had me debating whether or not to slap them into S-tier because honestly, they're that good. Their ability gives you a 3-stat discount for equipping items, which doesn't sound flashy but is a total game changer. Think about it. Less grind, faster access to the best gear, and more time spent actually playing. It's like skipping the line at a theme park. Sure, you're not riding the roller coaster for free, but you're getting there faster than everyone else. Then we've got the Felinor. This race is the definition of style meets substance. If you know how to work their perks, they're absolute beasts in both PvE and PvP. Felinors climb surfaces quicker than anyone else, making them ridiculously agile. And that stealth buff? Oh, it's the cherry on top, letting you pull off sneaky plays that make your opponents rage quit. They've got the moves to dominate, but you've got to know how to use them. Now, let's talk about Capra. If team play is your thing, you're going to fall in love with this race. Capra players are like walking buffs for the whole squad. Their 3 marks offer insane utility, healing allies, regenerating blood, food, and thirst, and even managing sanity loss. It's like having a Swiss Army knife for every bad situation. The only reason they aren't S-tier? They're less fun when you're flying solo. No one's there to benefit from your good vibes. Ah, the Tyran. These guys are every beginner's best friend. Why? They spawn with a free glider, and not just any glider, but a better one. This thing descends slower, letting you cover way more distance right out of the gate. Sure, anyone can get a glider eventually, but Tyrans get the VIP version right from the start. If you're new to the game or just love the freedom of gliding around, this race is a no-brainer. So there you have it, 4 races that are ridiculously good, just not quite at that god tier level. Khan's efficiency, Felinor's agility, Capra's team utility, and Tyran's glider perks make them stand out in their own right. With a bit of skill and strategy, they'll feel like they're S-tier anyway. Which one's your favorite? Let me know because, let's be honest, we all have that race we swear by. The races in this tier are, in order from top left to bottom right, Vesperian and Adret. Alright, let's talk about the cream of the crop when it comes to Deepwoken races, the ones you absolutely don't want to re-roll because they're just that good. Seriously, if you land one of these, it's like winning the game's genetic lottery. Let's dive into why these races are basically your golden ticket to dominating PvP, PvE, or just flexing on everyone else in Atria. First up, Vesperian. Let me just say this. If you're rocking a Vesperian, you're a tank in human, bug form. These guys come with natural armor, which is as cool as it sounds. You're straight up taking less damage all the time. And the best part? That armor replenishes at campfires, meaning you're always ready to go after a quick breather. Oh, and if you stack this with the exoskeleton talent, it's like you've got a personal force field 24/7. PvP, PvE, sneezing at enemies, Vesperian's got you covered. Then there's Adret, the multitasker of the Deepwoken world. These guys are crazy flexible because every time your power increases, you get 3 free stat points. That's like the game just handing you extra tools to hit those talent thresholds or perfect your build. And hey, it's not just stats. Adrets are the social butterflies of the game. They get a natural reputation boost with every faction. Whether you're dealing with Etris guards or scheming with pirate lords, everyone's just a little more chill with you. And who doesn't want that? So yeah, if you're lucky enough to roll one of these bad boys, don't you dare re-roll. Vesperian and Adret are the kings of utility and survivability, and they'll make any build 10 times more fun to play. Trust me, stick with them, and you'll see what I mean. The video ends here. See you in another video. Don't forget to subscribe.